guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back on recording again. It's been such a long while. I don't even want to think about it. It makes me so sad. But I'm really happy to be here today and record another video. And honestly, I've been dying to do this video. I'm gonna do a fall tutorial, but it's more like monochromatic look. So it's basically the eyeshadow's gonna tie in with the lips and the blush, and everything is just gonna coexist together and it's gonna suit each other. So I'm excited to do this look, and it's gonna be a fall look. Of course, there are a million other videos out there that are showing this as well, but this is just kind of my version, my intake. Take it for what it is. I'm just here to show you guys how I do it, or how I would do it on myself. I love warm tone colors, therefore I'm going to be using these shades. I think it's just suitable for the season as well, since everything is more warm. This is going to be a tutorial on how I do my makeup with my face as well, the base. Without further ado, like and subscribe, and if you would like to see this video, then just keep on watching. First of all, I'm going to start off with my foundation. I already have my eyebrows on because I didn't want to record that. So I'm going to go in with two foundations, a NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. I am in the shade Santa Fe Medium 2. I'm also going to be mixing the two because this one I find to be a little bit light on me. I'm going to be using my trusty Born This Way foundation. I also love this. Just to get you guys an idea about my skin type, I am combination. For the most part, most of my face is dry to normal.
It's more like normal, but around my lips I get dry, and then on my T-zone I get oily throughout the day.
That's just in case you guys are wondering. I'm also gonna apply these two foundations with my Morphe beauty sponge. So I'm just gonna add one pump of Born This Way. I'm gonna shake this luminous foundation because in the instructions it says to do so. Add one full pump, because this thing is apparently full coverage. Well, it's light but full coverage. It's like a juxtaposition, but we'll see. Just gonna get the angled part of my beauty sponge, and I'm just gonna mix these two together. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in a little. I'm gonna add just, I guess, a little bit more. I'm gonna add one more pump of the Born This Way. You're gonna go in with concealer. It's your choice, but you can go lighter on the under eyes. I usually tend to when I use concealer. I recently just started using concealer, so it's kind of new to me. I know, right? Crazy, but I'm just gonna pat the nose. As you can see, my face already looks way better. Just looks smoother. My pores are minimized. I usually tend to focus the foundation where I have bigger pores, which is in right here. I want to blend it down your neck as well. I'm going to apply some concealer, and I have alternatives for you guys if you guys want full coverage, more on the high end side. I love the Tarte Shape Tape concealer. I am in the shade medium. If you want more of the drugstore side, it's a cheaper alternative, but it's still good. I would recommend the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. Love this concealer. It's lighter coverage obviously, but I think it still does a great job. If you're going out and you want to make sure it stays, and I would recommend the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. It's super full coverage, like really full coverage, but in like the best way. Not because it does not look cakey, it looks so nice and so smooth. I'm taking this like holiday edition from last year, I believe. I don't know if it was a summer edition, but it's just a Tarte brush. I love their brushes. I find that they're like super good quality, you know, for the price that you get them for, and they come in like a little bundle. I would definitely suggest you guys to try them out. They're really nice. And set all of that with my Laura Mercier powder. I absolutely love this, especially for the under eye. Go ahead and take a little bit because it can dry my skin out. Dip it with this. This is just like a little random Sonia Kashuk brush. I use it for powder for the face, but really you can use it for anything. I'm just going to set my eyelids a little bit, just because when I apply eyeshadow, I don't want my eyeshadow to apply very rigidly and not blend well. Since I don't want to I mean, if you're oily, go ahead, set your entire face, but for my outer face, I like to use Maybelline Fit Me Set and Smooth Compact. Absolutely love this powder. It's super, super smooth. It really like hides your pores, and I love this powder. It does not look cakey. By the way, I am in the shade, if anybody cares, Golden Beige 240. And now I'm going to move on to bronzing and contouring. Since I'm doing a fall look, I'm going to do a contour look more than a bronze because I feel like bronze is more summer. I'm going to go in with my Morphe R2 brush. It's an amazing bronzing brush. I'm going to go in with the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit. If you really want your face to be more uplifted, I would suggest to apply your bronzer higher than your actual hollows of your cheekbones, just because it'll give you that lift effect, that lift illusion. Whereas if you were to apply it under, you'll have more of like a, it's gonna be sunken in, but it's not gonna do a good job of lifting your face as much as if you were to apply it on top of your, more like closer to your cheekbone, I would say. So that's also a trick if you don't really have prominent cheekbones. I would suggest to just apply it up there. And also I'm going to go down my jawline just because I want it to blend in with my neck. I'm just going to fluff it around ever so lightly. Okay, so I apologize if my lighting is completely different. I tried changing it so that it looks more warm and it looks more natural. Anyways, going back, I'm going to start chiseling my face, and I'm also going to go on the corners of my forehead just so that it doesn't look so pale up there, and it kind of just gives me more of a shape to my head. Just working with my face here. We all have different face. You do what you have to do. And if you find yourself to have gotten bronzer happy and sloppy, it's okay, you can easily fix it. Just get any kind of tapered foundation brush. You can use a beauty sponge too, but I recommend just a brush for now. And I'm gonna go in with my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm gonna go in with the, not the middle shade because it's a very light shade for me, but I'm gonna go in with the more orangey shade, and I'm just gonna like dab it. And you'll notice that it's gonna like chisel it out instantly. So I'm just gonna put it there, and look at that. Look how much cleaner that looks. Bam. Also brighten your under eyes with the Shade and Light. I would use the middle shade because it's not so peachy tone, so it's going to give me more of that neutral, more like a bright yellow-eyed undertone under my eyes. Very great alternative that I would suggest if you don't want to invest in this high-end product is the Wet n Wild contouring palette. This is amazing. I use this a lot. It is very, very extremely pigmented, so I'm very surprised by Wet n Wild because Wet n Wild is a very cheap brand, but lately they've been stepping it up with their products. This is the bronzer shade, and then that's the highlight. It looks a little bit lighter on my camera. I apologize, but it's definitely more of a like a banana yellowy undertone. They have two different shades. Highly recommend this if you do not own this or don't plan on purchasing this at all. As you can tell, I've already hit pan. I'm addicted to this. It's amazing. Back to what we were originally talking about. Now that I sort of just finished my base, do my blush, and the blush that I would recommend to use for fall that is really good from the drugstore that I very, very deeply love is the Milani Big Blushes. Milani Big Blushes are honestly amazing. They are better than some high-end foundation in my opinion. Morphe E3 blush brush. I'm just gonna dab it in. I'm gonna do this more like under my apples, not so much on top, but under my apples of my cheeks, and this will give me a very, very like doll-like appearance, you know what I mean? I don't know, I feel like that's what it does. And you can always just connect it to your contour or bronzer. I feel like that's gonna look better. It's a very nice fall shade. It also has like this sheen finish to it. Have your brush, your foundation powder brush, and kind of just blend it all together. Now that I finished the base of my foundation, I'm going to go ahead and go into the eyeshadow tutorial to kind of just show you guys what I do to my eyes, shadows that I use. I'm going to be going back and forth with two palettes, and they're warm tone palettes. I'll be using one that I recently just bought. I am obsessed with, and it's the Marc Jacobs Scandalous palette. It's their warm one, and it's called Iconic. Get it? Iconic. This is just what it looks like. They're very thin. Sorry, I don't want to blind you guys. And they're very, very sleek. Absolutely love this palette. I know it's a lot of money, but that's why I'm going to be using two. I'll also be going in back with the Tartelette in Bloom. I know it's not as cheap as like a drugstore price, but hey, it's like the mid-range. The warm one as well. As you can tell, I've I've hit some dents in them. So yeah, just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm going to be taking Painterly Paint Pot and Soft Ochre by MAC, and I'm just going to be applying this on my lids. This is going to do a great job at sustaining my eyeshadow throughout the whole day and making the eyeshadows pop. What I'm going to do here is lightly set the primer so that when I do apply the eyeshadow, it won't be rigid, it'll be smoother. Taking the Marc Jacobs palette, I'm going to go in with the shade, that little like brown shade, and I'm taking this Morphe brush. It has like a tapered point to it, and I'm just gonna go into the crease of my eyes. And I do apologize if my video is unfocused. It was very difficult recording this, as you can tell. But yeah, so I'm just blending it, really taking my time. I am going to take it into the inner corner of my eyes as well, and I'm just fluffing it out more. As you can see, I've been just extending it out more. Now I'm taking another Morphe brush, and I'm going into the Tartelette palette in Bloom, and I'm going to take that dark shade right there, and I'm going to dip into that lightly using my 513 brush. And I'm going to focus this on the outer corner of my eye. I'm going to go in V-shape motions, but I want to make sure I focus it only on the outer corners versus the inner corner. And I'm just blending that towards the center of my eyelid just a little bit, and taking the rest of the residue all the way across my crease. And you just want to blend, 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 especially when you're dealing with darker colors. The more you blend, the better it will look. And I'm just trying to diffuse the concentrated color. Using a Morphe M518 brush, I'm using this like very pink tone transition shade, and I'm just ever so lightly putting it on the top of my transition shade of that dark shade on my crease, and I'm smoking it out. And I'm taking that all the way into my crease, and I'm just diffusing it out. Once again, I want it to look blended all together. My eyebrow hair was going crazy, so just ignore that. I am further blending, and I'm taking another Morphe brush, and it's my Morphe M513, I believe, and I'm going to go in with that dark shade once again from the Tarte Shape Tape palette. I'm sorry, from the Tarte in Bloom palette, and this time I'm going to make sure I concentrated on the inner corner of my eyes, so we're going to give it that halo effect. And my camera is getting out of focus, I apologize. And I'm going to start taking that across the crease with the leftover residue of the powder. And as you can see, it already looks like it has some dimension in the center. So that's what we want. And I'm just further blending that. Okay, now I'm taking my Marc Jacobs palette and I'm going to go in with the shade, the reddish shade there. Taking any flat brush, you're going to just spray it with any Fix Plus spray. I don't have Fix Plus, so I'm using my Urban Decay All Nighter spray. I'm going to apply that and I'm going to focus this on the center of my eye. As you can see, you can swipe it horizontally or vertically, but as you can see after I do that, I kind of just tap it into my eyes to kind of blend it with that outer and inner darker shade that I applied earlier. And I'm just going to be applying that, packing it on, really making it pop. As you can see, it's really standing out against that dark shadow. Now I'm taking that beigey champagne color in the Marc Jacobs palette and taking a flat brush, I'm flipping it over and applying it only in the center of the eye. Taking a smaller detail brush, I'm going to go in with the Morphe M508 brush and I'm going to dip into that champagne shimmery color to give me a pop and give you that fresh look, since it can get lost with those dark inner corner shades. And once again, I'm applying it, I'm concentrating that shade more on the center of the lid to give it that dimensioned look. Taking another Morphe 508 brush, I'm going to dip into the dark chocolatey shade and I'm going to focus this on the crease and kind of going into like another V-shape motion, but this time more concentrated than diffused out, if that makes any sense. With the dark shade, you want to make sure that you start with a little bit and build up the color. And now I'm doing the same thing in the inner corner to kind of just give me that shape more and define it. You don't want to take it all the way down to your tear duct, because then it'll look muddy and sloppy. So just make sure you stop before the highlighted area in the inner corner. Alright, now I'm taking any flat shader brush and I'm flipping it around and I'm going to go in with the Marc Jacobs palette and I'm going to go in with that shade. And I'm going to further apply it just to make it pop more, since it did get lost with the other shades. So I'm just reapplying that to make it stand out. And now taking another Morphe brush, and it's the E17. I'm going to go in with that red shade in that palette. And I'm kind of going to like blend these two together. I don't want it to look like it's just light and dark, so I want it to kind of give that gradient effect. Therefore, I'm adding that red toned shade. You don't have to do it, it's totally optional, but I think it gives it that more fall appropriate look. And now I'm taking that transition shade in that palette and I'm gonna apply this to my bottom lower lash, and I'm gonna just try to smoke it out as best as I can. This is going to help tie in the whole look all together. It's going to give it that smoky radiant effect. Alright, now I'm taking another Morphe brush, and it's a more smaller detailed brush. And I'm going to go in with the Tartelette in Bloom palette, and I'm going to go in with that dark shade right there. And I'm going to really concentrate this in my waterline, just below my waterline, and I'm going to try to define my eyes more to give it that eyeliner illusion effect. I'm not going to be applying eyeliner, bottom eyeliner, so therefore I'm really concentrating it. Now I'm taking the Morphe M504 brush and I'm going to go in with that transition shade, and I'm picking up the pigment and then dusting it off, as you can see, and I'm going to apply it towards the transition shade, but I'm just want to really like blend all these together and diffuse them and smoke it out more. And I'm also not going to forget about the bottom. I want to kind of match it as well. Taking any just fluffy powder brush, I'm just going to wipe out the fallout. Alright, now that I went ahead and finished pretty much most of the eye, I'm going to go in with the small detailer brush and go underneath my brow bone to give it a nice highlight. I want to go ahead and finish the same look on the other eye off camera. So I'm going to go back in with my Marc Jacobs palette and I'm going to go in with the first shade here, and I'm just going to use my detailer brush and go in.
I want to make sure that you concentrate the shimmer shade first in the center of your brow and not in the inner third of the brow bone. Using a Morphe brush, I'm going to use my Laura Mercier powder to really clean up under my eyes and the outer corners of my eyes to give it more of a cat eye shape. And as you can see, it really chisels it out, and I'm just going to clean off any fallout. Taking the Wet n Wild Mega Liner liquid eyeliner, I'm going to create a top winged eyeliner. And I'm going to try my best to kind of just follow that eye shape that I have going on from the eyeshadow that I have created. Don't worry if you can't perfect winged eyeliners yet. It took me a lot of practice, a lot of time. The first time I wore top eyeliner, I think I was like in 7th grade. I'm 21 now, so don't worry, it takes a lot of practice and you'll get there in no time. There's that finished attempt of my wing, and as you can tell, I was really happy because I actually made them even this time.
My camera died. I basically just put on the eyelashes. I just coated them with mascara so they can blend better. Next, we're gonna go with the MAC Extended Giga Black.
You want to be careful that your bottom lash mascara is either waterproof or just a very good formula. And you also want to make sure that the wand is very small so that you can get very precise.
Now that I finished my bottom lashes, I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face with some all-nighter, and I have the makeup spray De-Slicked for oily skin. Like I said, I have an oily T-zone. I'm just gonna spray this before I put on highlight so that it can get me that extra dewiness that I want my skin to portray. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Wet n Wild highlighting powder in Precious Petals. This is a perfect drugstore highlighter. One of my favorites, hands down. I suggest everyone to go out and buy this. It's so worth it. It's just as good as high-end highlighters, in my opinion. I was gonna go in with the NARS Trio palette, and it's called Banque de Sable. I think it was limited edition. I'm not sure if it's still out there. This is my favorite shade that I use. It gives you just that pretty sheen, but just for the purpose of this video, we'll use this drugstore highlight because you can still get this. It's available and it's also cheaper, so it's more convenient. Using any highlighting brush, I'm gonna use my Morphe Y11 brush, and it's more of a softer bristle brush just so that I don't get it to accentuate my skin texture so much. And I'm gonna just swirl and you can bring it up, but I'm not going to bring it too high because I don't want to give me that like summer dewy look. Getting my finger, I'm just going to put this on the bridge of my nose just to highlight on top. And you want to leave a gap right here right before you get to the end of the nose, just because you want to give it that uplifting effect for your nose. At least that's what I like to do. And when you apply your contour, which I did it in this video, but you can contour your nose and then shade it under here so that it gives it that, like, you know, shorter look to your nose. You can really create any shape of your nose if you really wanted to, if you knew how to use the right tools with makeup. That's why I love doing it. But for this case, I didn't want to contour my nose just because I didn't want to look too harsh, since the eyes are already drawing so much attention and they're a little bit dramatic for now. So if you want to go more intense, I suggest to get a natural goat hair brush because it'll pick it up heavier and it will dispense it more, if that makes sense. So now you can see Now we're getting into my most favorite part, is the lips. So I don't know why, it's just like I feel like a lipstick shade is like you get to pick what mood you're in. I have two lipsticks to share with you and they've become my most favorite. This is the new NARS lip stains that came out recently. They launched, not their velvet ones, those I did not like, but these actually stay on your lips. This one's in the shade Slow Ride, a dark nude I would say. These lip stains are so good. It's one of those where they apply really thin on the lips, but they last so long and they fade off your lips like seamlessly. Like they don't even fade off my lips. I have to take it off. I just love these. I recommend it. They're a little pricey, but it's so worth your money. If you ever get the chance to stop by at Sephora or Ulta, because I know they sell these at Ulta now, give it a try. I'm gonna mix this NARS Slow Ride shade with a drugstore lipstick by Maybelline, and it's their new-ish shade. It's the metallic formula. I'm not really a metallic fan on my lips, but I'm trying to stray away from my comfort zone, and because it's a fall look, incorporate something very unique and yet very warm and orangey. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in now so you can see how I apply my lipstick. This is how the Dofa applicator looks like, and all you really need is just one swipe. You don't need to dip it again, because I find that with these lipsticks it lasts longer with just one thin coat, and it's so pigmented, so pigmented. Now I'm just gonna wait for it to dry a little bit. As you can see, I overlined it. You don't have to overline it if that's not what you're used to, but I do, just to be dramatic. The grand finale, we're gonna go in with this new lipstick that I picked up called Copper Spark, and it's a metallic chrome, and it is so gorgeous and it's so unique, and that's what's trending. And I'm gonna focus this on the center of my lip. As you can see, it gave it more of a little orange tinge because it's like coppery orangey. It's perfect for the fall. That completes this look. Hope you guys enjoyed what I've created. For me, it's kind of simple in the sense that I stick to warm tones, but I really enjoy warm tones. I think they're more wearable. This is more of like a glam look, so if you want to tone it down, feel free to. A trick that I do is instead of putting bottom black liner, I just smoke it out with like a brown eyeshadow to make it more natural. Alright guys, so here is the final look. This is how it came out. Thank you so much.